Ever since the middle school years, I've been a big fan of the FNAF series. But then the question become, why was the game a masterclass? And that's something I had to ask myself. So I'm watching this video and we're gonna find out why.
Five Nights at Freddy's has been a huge part of horror for over 10 years now, inspiring players in other games. But out of all the sequels and spin-offs, one game still stands above the rest, the original FNAF 1. It might look simple, but everything, the atmosphere, the characters, the story, and even how you play was designed to keep you on edge, feeling watched and out of control. Hey everybody, I'm Jeeps, and while Scott might call me crazy for saying this, the first FNAF just feels different, and today we're going to talk about why. Before we jump in, consider subscribing so we can reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers, and
Let me tell you why FNAF was so different, right? FNAF was so different because it gave us a new... Sorry, I got people changing my locks. Sorry.
with that said, let's begin. While FNAF 1 is known for many things, the first thing I want to highlight is its atmosphere, and this is just something you can't ignore. You applying for the job of night guard at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza are placed in a small office surrounded by dark hallways. A single buzzing light hums above you, a fan whirls at max speed, and an unknown voice speaks over the phone, all while you feel a strange weight in the air. This is FNAF 1. The game immediately immerses you in a world full of creepy children's drawings. The iconic Celebrate poster on your left, unsettling animatronics, and even an uncanny cupcake staring back at you. Yes, that was Chica's cupcake, or at least I believe so. But that's just the office. Night after night, strange sounds creep in from the halls, whether it's laughter echoing from somewhere unseen, or faint carnival-sounding tunes that leave the player unsettled. And every once in a while, you'll hear dishes crash in the kitchen. But the cameras there don't work, so you're left staring at static, wondering what just moved, or worse, what's waiting. And that uncertainty, it's intentional, a part of the design built by Scott Cawthon. You see, FNAF 1 builds fear not through jump scares alone, but by making you constantly second guess everything you see and hear. You feel watched, trapped, and almost powerless every step of the way. A tension most horror games only aspire to create. But FNAF 1 did this perfectly. Even as a kid, this atmosphere scared the life out of me. And that's not even counting the animatronics. Unlike games like Amnesia, SCP, or Outlast, FNAF doesn't let you run or hide. You're stuck in one spot, forced to survive 6
And that's what always sucked about it. You couldn't go nowhere. That's what sucked about it. You couldn't go nowhere when it came to FNAF. You couldn't go anywhere. Like, you had to stay right there. You just have to have, like... You basically just have to be smart about this. And that's what... I played 1 or 2 games of FNAF, and I've already uploaded it to the channel. If you want to find it, you go find them. But, bro, I was very terrible at trying to beat this game because I was so scared. And, like, it's the uncertainty of when something's going to come at you. And, like, bro, it was scaring me, bro.
Hours while watching your power drain away, knowing that something in the dark is getting closer every single second. And if you fail, well, you'll wish you hadn't. And the tension peaks whenever you see an animatronic on the camera right next to your door, whether it be the left or right side. But obviously closing the door would burn more power, so you just sit there, wondering if you can risk waiting just a little longer. And me personally, I just closed the door. There's no risking that. Yeah, no thank you. But still, that feeling that something was waiting in the dark ready to jump, it was just terrifying. Not to mention, each night there's a small chance that something strange will happen. A poster on the wall suddenly changes, an animatronic stares directly into the camera, or a rare screen appears after you die or boot up the game. Little details like these made every run feel unpredictable, and that unpredictability made the experience 10 times more exciting, but also mysterious, as during that time we really didn't know what any of it meant. Of course now that's different, but back then we were only getting hints at missing children's reports. I think as a community we can agree that though FNAF 1 is still special to us, it doesn't quite have the same edge it once did. But I want you to think back to the very first time you played it, or the first time you watched your favorite YouTuber dive in. Remember the emptiness, the tension, and the slow build of the atmosphere. That's what FNAF 1 truly represented. And not to mention, Sister Location's trailer even acknowledges it. FNAF 1 is fear. All of these elements, the visuals, the audio cues, the animatronics, all combine to make a perfect, tense, and heavy atmosphere, and I wouldn't want it any other way. But FNAF 1 wasn't just defined by its atmosphere, it was also the animatronics you had to survive.
Bro, I'm so locked in, I didn't even mean, I forgot to say something. Bro, there was something I wanted to say earlier. Bro, when I was a kid, when I first found out about Five Nights at Freddy, scared the living crap out of me. And I mean scared, because you guys gotta understand, when I was like a middle school going into high school, right? But yeah, normally, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So when I was in middle school, bro, when I first found out about him, bro, scared the living crap out of me. First of all, the marionette puppet and the toy Bonnie was the scariest of them all to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why it was just very scary for me, bro. I'm just saying, like, it was very scary. And so I'm just telling y'all, bro, as a child going through and watching stuff like this, it was really like something that you just had to be like very strong. Like for me, I was petrified.
Trust me, they do a lot more than just look scary. So sure, the animatronics weren't the only source of FNAF 1's horror, but their design had a huge impact on the game as a whole. Each of these animatronics wasn't just made to look scary, they were meant to look off. Almost uncanny. Like something that's supposed to make kids happy, but the longer you look at it, the more it feels wrong. Scott actually based them on those old family restaurant mascots, usually being a band, the kind you'd see at places like Chuck E. Cheese, for example, with big smiles, bright colors, and a bit of nostalgia, but just lifeless eyes. The same rule applies for the FNAF animatronics. The more you look at them, the more you just feel uncomfortable. This applying the most to Bonnie. Scott once said out of all the animatronics, Bonnie actually gave him nightmares while he was developing the game. And look, I get having nightmares from playing a horror game, but imagine creating something yourself that's so twisted it haunts you. Only a certain kind of horror can do that, and if that's not a perfect capture of horror design, then I don't know what is. The animatronics just captured that weird nostalgia of childhood fun gone wrong. Fun where you're supposed to feel safe, but something deep down tells you you're not. But it's not just how they look. These characters aren't just creepy designs on a screen. They shape everything you experience while playing the game, dictating how you react to every sound, shadow, and movement. Even on later nights, something as simple as checking a camera becomes a risky choice. And that's what makes surviving the night feel so intense, especially on your first playthrough. But in Five Nights at Freddy's, surviving the night isn't just about lasting 6 hours. It's about constantly being on edge. And if you're confused, here's what I mean. You are stuck in this office, low in power, and surrounded by 4, maybe 5 things that definitely shouldn't be moving, but do, referring to the animatronics. Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie the Bunny, Chica the Chicken, Foxy the Pirate, and the rare Golden Freddy. Each one has their own role, and they're all designed to keep you on your toes. Golden Freddy is a special case, however, in which he only shows up in 2 rare cases, either by typing 1987 in the custom night game mode or spotting a special poster suddenly appearing in your office. Very mysterious and honestly kinda terrifying. But that's what I loved about the character. More importantly, however, these characters elevate the game's atmosphere. They give you a reason to be afraid, because while you're hearing all those strange noises, deep down, you know they're coming from them. In FNAF 1, everything you do, even checking a camera, costs power. Every click feels like a gamble. I mean, you have control, but only for as long as that power bar lasts. And that tension keeps building as the nights go on. At first it's just Bonnie and Chica giving you time to learn the routine, but by night 2, Foxy starts testing your awareness as well, forcing you to juggle cameras even more, knowing that if you don't pay attention to him, the next minute he's sprinting towards your office, straight towards your door. And then Freddy joins in the following night. You have to constantly keep a camera on him, otherwise he would close in on your office, and if he's there, it's already too late. These characters are essential to FNAF's horror design. Their mechanics make sure you're never truly safe. Think you're fine, Bonnie's silhouette is staring at you down the hall. Freddy's lurking somewhere in the shadows. And Golden Freddy, well, don't even get me started about him. All these elements combine to make you feel some form of dread with the environment, and they build a sense of fear. It was definitely frightening the first time I played it. The atmosphere and the characters already put you on edge. When playing in silence, the air feels heavy, and you always feel like you're being watched. But there's one thing that makes FNAF 1 truly unforgettable. The mystery. I'm talking about the hidden story you have to piece together.
Bro,
the that have a chance to appear every time you flip the camera. The secrets behind every animatronic and the unanswered questions you find along the way. That's the lore, and it fully fulfills FNAF 1's horror experience. In FNAF 1, many strange events could occur on the cameras. Text on Foxy's sign at Pirate Cove sometimes changing to "It's me," or pictures in the halls flickering to show crying children. These moments mostly added to the fear, keeping you on edge. But one poster offered something more, something that actually revealed what happened, and where the original theorists found the first pieces of the story. In the East Hall corner, you'd normally find a simple rules for safety sign, just instructions to follow during the day, some being weirder than others. But every now and again it could change, into a newspaper article. One of 4 possible clippings, each giving glimpses into the grim reality behind Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, the closure of the restaurant, 5 children gone missing, foul odors coming from the animatronic suits, hints that the victims were stuffed inside, just as Phone Guy suggested the animatronics could do, and the list goes on. At the time, this was an enormous lore drop, but now it just feels like common knowledge. However, back then, it shook the community. With that final piece of the puzzle, FNAF 1 solidifies itself as a masterpiece of horror design. The nighttime atmosphere of an abandoned pizzeria, meant for children, keeps you tense. The animatronics, with their mysterious backstories, keep you glued to the cameras. And behind it all, there's just an unsettling story tying everything together. And that's why FNAF 1 isn't just scary, it's unforgettable. Thank you so much for watching. FNAF 1 holds a special place in my heart, just like the other
I don't know
games
why I was so into the video that I didn't really have much to say, because bro, like, he said it all. Like, realistically, the game was really good for what it was at the time. Gave me the scare, used to keep me up at night, dead ass. And I will never ever think I would have that same experience for a lot of other games. I think Poppy Playtime was probably one of those games where I feel like I've gained interest again, but it never really gave me that scare that I needed from like how I got it from Five Nights at Freddy. But bro, if you guys were a big fan of Five Nights at Freddy, let me know in the comment section. But that would be the end of this video. Hey, let me know what you guys want me to watch next, and as always, stay reckless, and I'll see you guys in the next one.